Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the 23rd World Education Summit, the Higher Education Edition. And now we are on the third panel discussion for the day one, and the panel discussion topic is Impact and Role of Artificial Intelligence in Higher Education. I am Tarannu Manjul, and I am the Assistant Editor at Elets Technomedia. And with me for this panel, I have with me Dr. Sandeep Shastri, Vice Chancellor, Jagiran Lake City University, Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
And and Dr. G.P.S. Verma, Vice Chancellor, KL University, deemed to be University, Vadeswaram, Andhra Pradesh. Welcome, sir. I also have with me Dr. S.S. Bhakar, Vice Chancellor, ITM University, Gwalior, Madhya Pradesh. Welcome, sir. And we would be having a few more panelists joining us in between the panel discussion. As we all understand that artificial intelligence has become the buzzword in higher education, especially after the pandemic, since AI is supposed to be the key word in higher education. Now, starting off the panel discussion with Dr. Sandeep Shastri, I would like to ask Dr. Shastri, sir, do you feel that AI is simplifying the teaching methodology through automated class management systems and analyzing students' interest in class through facial recognition?
Uh, Thank you, Taranam, for having me here. And it's a great question that you have posed. Whether our automated classrooms would simplify teaching methods. I would like to respond to it in two ways. My question is higher education about simplifying things or is it about understanding things? I would believe higher education is not about simplifying, but about understanding. And secondly, I also believe higher education today is not so much about teaching, and it's much more about learning. So I am looking at higher education in the current 21st century as a learning process where the complexity of learning reaches the learner. And how does the automated classroom help? I think the automated classroom helps in being a useful platform for me. It is a platform for me for learning. And I don't want that platform because it simplifies learning. I want that platform if it is going to help the process of learning, if it is going to help the process of integrating the knowledge and assimilating that knowledge which my learner is going to acquire. There is one more point I'd like to make, Tarunum, in this context. While I'm one of those who celebrates the arrival of artificial intelligence, I'm one of those who believes that there is great potential in artificial intelligence. I would pause for a moment and think of the first word in AI, artificial. It is something that as humans we are creating in order to have a better experience. So at the end of the day, be it retention of knowledge, be it problem solving, be it time management, I would believe, and strongly so, that the human element is critical. I would want to leverage artificial intelligence as a platform, but I do not see it as the be all and end all of learning. For me, the be all and end all of learning is the learning process, which cannot do away without that human element. So let's leverage artificial technology as much as we want. But let's remember it begins with the word artificial. Let's also remember that the human element is most critical. And as I have said on your platform earlier, connect to IT, reconnect to HT. Connect to information technology and artificial intelligence, reconnect to human technology, because that is the core of learning, because emotions are there, ideas are there, reality is there, and that is what learning is ultimately.
That was wonderful, sir. In fact, this was a very pertinent point that the technology called artificial intelligence starts with the word artificial, so we can all understand how important or non-important it actually is. My question now is to Dr. Verma. Dr. Verma, do you think that student retention will become more proactive with the use of AI in higher education?
It's pleasure for me to talk on this. Actually, this discuss on the artificial intelligence plays a major role in education
Professor
system.
Verma, if you can just switch on your camera.
When I just talked about
Yes, sir.
the artificial intelligence playing a major role in education system, I really agree for it. Actually, when there is a learning curve system is happening out here, earlier days when it is actually happening, learning curve is through eye contact of the teacher and the student. Nowadays, most of the education system is converted towards online education or a flipped learning class learning happening out there, and a hybrid mode of education system. Understanding of the student level and learning curve always needs an artificial intelligence algorithms for this process. And majorly, when an assessment is taken care out there, the learning curve is taken care by the people out there, and whether the student has understood this particular topic or not can be identified by this artificial intelligence algorithms, and that can be taken care of. The student to understand that particular area, and this plays a major role in the classroom teaching process. Even in hybrid mode or a physical mode or online mode, learning curves makes a major difference in learning the student, actually the understanding of the student. The knowledge transmission is done by the faculty out there. Whether they understood or not should be assessed by the learning curves out there, which takes care of the artificial intelligence. Not only that, actually, the facial recognitions from the cameras out there definitely will help us what they're expecting, what their interest out there. Nowadays, all the kids are online-oriented kids out there, and most of them works on the tabs, and they only learn on their interest only. In that connection, on the flipped class learning and the artificial intelligence tools plays a major role in this teaching learning process, which helps us the student to learn in a specific domain of their interest in this case.
Perfectly fine, sir. In fact, that was very nice of you to talk about this topic. Now, going to Dr. S.S. Bhakar. Dr. Bhakar, do you think that AI as a tool to examine the learning implications of frequently AI can AI be a tool to examine the learning implications or of frequently evolving technologies on the methods and extent of learning? Can it become an effective tool for that?
Good afternoon, everyone. Um, when you talk about higher education, it is not only classroom learning. There are a lot of activities that are routine in nature, and AI, artificial intelligence, is best placed to handle them, and that can reduce the routine work or the work that is considered not adding value to teaching learning, like say grading. Uh, Machine learning can be used to train machines how different evaluators evaluate a content or content prepared by the students. And then once they get trained, artificial intelligence can help carry out grading of essays. It can help grading of tests and so on. A work that probably can be, I know that every answer can be innovative, and there can be a content that may not be repeated. Even if you look at hundreds of answer sheets, and even if you train a machine to evaluate, you would still find that it may not match the human evaluations, but in majority of cases, it would be very close to it, and it can be better in some cases, because it will remove any kind of psychological bias that could be there. So there are a lot of such activities like attendance. Um, a lot of time is spent by the teacher in marking attendance, be it online or offline.
Perfectly fine, sir. That was nice of you to talk
Or
about
use biometric.
So your
Yes.
voice is cracking. Yes, so your voice was cracking. Yeah. You want to
Okay.
continue?
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
Okay.
want to continue, sir?
Okay. Let me see. No, I will. I'll continue. I'll just let me have a look
Yes,
at.
sir. Yes, sir.
I will. I will connect with my hotspot. I think my Wi-Fi has some issues, so I'll do that.
Yeah, sure.
I'm connecting with my uh, um hotspot, and let me see.
Sure, sir.
Okay. I have already now connected with the.
Yes, sir. And your audio is quite fine now, sir. You can continue.
Yeah, it's. I'm connected with my hotspot. How is it now? Am I audible
Sir,
now?
yes, sir. You're audible now. So you're perfectly audible.
Okay. So what I was talking about was that there are a number of things that intelligence can improve. I talked about one, two things, that is attendance, grading, personalized learning. Specifically for languages, etc., can be greatly helped through what artificial intelligence. Like, say, if you want to train a student on pronunciations. Now, a teacher can't, spend so much of time that a student repeats the pronunciation 5 times, 10 times, and then teacher every time corrects that pronunciation. But machine doesn't veer off, or doesn't get tired. Artificial intelligence can actually do the work that a teacher might do, and far better. And in a class, if there are 60 students, and if you want to train them on a particular language, you would find that all 60 students can start from their level, and then it can be taken up if you use artificial intelligence for their learning. So their learning can be, it can be individual. I mean, every student, at whatever level the student starts with, he can be taken up from there. Same is the case with other subjects as well. Artificial intelligence can understand, every student can easily be analyzed. The same can also be done manually by teachers, but then that takes so much of time in evaluating individual students, that and in regular, when you're teaching regular classes, you don't have so much of time that you try and evaluate every student's level. And also, even if you are able to evaluate, can you do training, or can you teach for every student? When a student is learning online, artificial intelligence can take every student to the level where he is, or she is, and then can take it up, and also can decide the speed at which the new learning will take place for the student. New content will appear, and so on. So and there are lot of activities that can be aided, can be helped, can be improved using artificial intelligence. So in my view, artificial intelligence is definitely going to revolutionize the education, and specifically I'm talking about in universal access to education. Because once you on demand, as per the needs of the person, starting from the level that a person is at, and so on, all that can only be done using artificial intelligence. So I feel, with because of the last 2 years corona, now everyone, in fact students, teachers, everyone, is more conversant with online systems, and blended learning, which will have a large part online, is going to be the norm. And in that process, AI is going to play a major role. That's my view. Thank you.
That's very nice of you, sir, to say this, that AI will definitely play a very major role in the years to come. And coming back to Dr. Shastri now, Dr. Shastri, I would like to ask you, do you think that artificial intelligence based technologies have the potential of becoming tools to promote equity and provide personalized learning?
Uh, Equity and personalized learning and the role of artificial intelligence in promoting that. For me, equity to a large extent is about similarity of opportunities that people enjoy. One thing we have seen very clearly in the pandemic is access to online learning was something which was much more available to those from the middle classes and the upper classes, those in private institutions, and a little less accessible to those who are part of government institutions and those who are from the economically lower sections of society. So I do concede the point that over time there will be greater accessibility of technology for people. But until that point of time comes when technology is something easily accessible by people across the country, accessibility in terms of cost, accessibility in terms of technology, accessibility in terms of being able to leverage that technology. Until that happens, I do believe there will continue to be a question mark on the issue of equity, on the issue of technology being able to reach people. Now, I'm sure you're aware of this, that there is data which says the quantum of use of technology in New York City is much more than the quantum of use of technology in more than half of Africa. You take a half of Africa together and you take New York City alone, there is greater access to technology in New York City than in that half continent of Africa. Now, what does this say vis-a-vis equity? So if we are looking at equity as opportunities for people, I think there is still a long road to cross. And unless technology becomes more accessible, unless technology becomes more affordable, and unless technology becomes more applicable to the learning that I am part of, I believe that there would be some challenges with regard to equity being achieved. I forgot the second term that you used, equity and?
Personalized learning.
Okay. Now, again, Taranumi, depends on how do we define what is personalized. You see, I speaking one-to-one here with everybody, is that personalized? Or I, before this session started, having an offline conversation with my faculty members, was that personalized? So how do we define what is personalized? Is personalized a student being able to sit in the computer and learn from what that computer is able to offer you? Is personalized leveraging technology to be able to learn through the platform of technology? Or is personalized, I have an opportunity to get my answers to questions through a face-to-face dialogue with fellow individuals? I concede the point which Bhakar sir made and my other colleague on the panel made. There are certain types of fundamental learning which maybe technology would help me be able to gain. Correcting my pronunciation, yes, maybe technology would help me correct my pronunciation. But how do I apply that pronunciation to different cultural contexts? I don't know if artificial intelligence can help me with that, or whether I require a more personalized mentoring to be able to fulfill that. So, does artificial intelligence help in more personalized learning? The answer to that would depend on what type of learning am I looking at. If I'm looking at very routine learning, if I'm looking at learning which is something which any machine can go ahead and teach me, yes, there is opportunity for that because I can do it at my time, my place, and my space. But if personalized learning is about specialized skills that I would like to acquire, which is not similar across the board, I'm not too sure whether artificial intelligence by itself can achieve that. I have seen this in a very important area of learners, students improving their presentation skills. While machines can teach you how to make a presentation, to be able to make an effective presentation requires a mentor in front of you who corrects those small nuances which is unique to you and not something which is common to everybody. So yes, if it is very, very generic forms of learning, personalized learning may be possible through artificial intelligence also. But if it is more in-depth, personalized learning in terms of honing your specialized skills or improving what you would want to specifically improve, because what I would like to improve would be very different from what Bhakar sir would like to improve and would be very different from what would you like to improve. So there I'm not too sure how much artificial intelligence can fit the bill and how much that would actually require human mentoring and human involvement.
Once again, sir, you put that point across that human mentoring is very, very important. Artificial intelligence alone cannot do anything much, and human intervention cannot be denied. Coming back to Dr. Verma now. Dr. Verma, I would like to ask you that how do you think artificial intelligence can influence your academic field, higher education in particular? How do you think that can be done?
In my perspective, the classroom, normally in a personalized learning, normally artificial intelligence plays a major role. When a classroom is there of a capacity of 30, any teacher can definitely can observe the things and can deliver the things and can personalize, monitor things, and the process can be very easy. When it comes to masses and number of things are out there and online learning is there actually, when there are classes of online and flipped learning is going on actually with a class of 500 student capacity in online, there is no point actually that actually one teacher can observe the total activities and can see that the personalized learning is going to happen at this place. In that connection, artificial intelligence plays a major role actually in learning. I mean, delivering the. I mean, when you're delivering the content out there, and how much you're going to learn out there, it's a learning curve will be definitely taken care by by the artificial intelligence tools out there. Not only that, actually, the examination systems and the evaluation systems out there and learning curves, artificial intelligence plays a major role. And also for the nowadays, the all the classroom teaching is done through the flipped learning out there, and most of the content preparation, content management, and content learning out there, and all these cases, this plays a major role. And definitely, when it is moving towards number of masses and number of volumes, when you're transforming towards a classroom of 30 towards 500 to 1,000 numbers, these tools are majorly plays a major role in all this learning curves, content management and delivery systems out there, evaluation systems out there, assessments, and all this. I feel these tools are needed in this occasion.
Thank you so much, sir. That was very wonderful listening to you on AI as how it can influence the higher education sector. Now coming to Dr. S.S. Bhakar. Dr. Bhakar, as Dr. Verma was talking about examinations, do you think that AI can also be used to conduct examinations in a foolproof and flawless manner? Looking at the fact that we have moved towards the online system of examinations, specifically after COVID, do you think that it can be used as a tool for for foolproof examinations, flawless, cheating-proof examinations, for that matter?
Yes, it can, because artificial intelligence can observe movements and very finer movements like eyeball movement and so on, and it can pick up any other if a student is trying to access any other gadget, that can also be identified by artificial intelligence, and a foolproof online examination system can be built using artificial intelligence. Without using artificial intelligence, it will become extremely difficult to ensure that the online examination system is foolproof. However, I agree with Professor Sastry when he says that teachers cannot be replaced by artificial intelligence. They will remain always in demand, in use, and the routine work that any teacher carries out 70% work is routine, and 25 30 35% is creative. So what can be relegated to artificial intelligence, or artificial intelligence can take care better than the human beings, is that routine work. And that, as I said, that it is majorly facilitation. I mean, the activities that a teacher has to do otherwise, and those are routine in nature, they can easily be delegated, they can easily be done through artificial intelligence. That is what we need to, in higher education, we need to do that. Every teacher can be, the burden can be reduced considerably by assigning all the routine tasks, like planning meetings, scheduling meetings, automating students' forms to different departments of the institution or university, and preparing progress reports, etc., report keeping, and other routine tasks. I mean, major, you find that teachers spend a lot of time on these, and if they can be taken care of through the use of artificial intelligence, and I can tell you that artificial intelligence can do better, because these are routine work, and when you assign them to a human being, and when repeated tasks are done number of times, it is likely that a error would creep in, and the machines would do those flawlessly. But where creativity is important, machines probably would lack that, and a human interface, the teacher, is essential. That is what Professor Sastry also said, that when you want to teach something that is higher end, and that requires a lot of creativity, you can't assign that to a machine using artificial intelligence. And yes, that's what it is. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That's perfectly fine on your part, what you said. And continuing with your comment only, I would like to ask Dr. Sandeep Shastri. Dr. Shastri, you've been quite vocal talking about the cons, in fact, of AI, and you not using AI without human intervention. What, according to you, Dr. Shastri, are the biggest challenges that AI poses in terms of its implementation and adaptation in higher education?
Taranam, let me start off with a caveat. I am a huge supporter of technology. I myself leverage technology as and when possible. But my question is, what is the goal that we want to achieve in higher education? For me, the goal in higher education is learning first, learner always. These are the two goals for me. Learning first, learner always. And therefore, I would ask myself the question, on a particular area, on a particular subject, will artificial intelligence allow me to have learner first learning always or not? So for me, artificial intelligence is neither good, bad, useful, not useful, etc. It is the question of, does it serve the purpose I want it to serve vis-a-vis higher education? So for me, the whole process of higher education, where learner is first and learning is always the priority, I would ask myself the question, the level of comfort the learner has with artificial intelligence as a platform, as the sole platform of learning, and how much has that contributed to the process of learning is my question. Now, I would believe, like Dr. Bhakar said, for a lot of routine tasks, maybe the learner is better served through technology. To undertake certain routine tasks, yes, we don't need to waste human resource. We can as well use artificial intelligence to be able to achieve that. And my learner is served through artificial intelligence to achieve that. But does not sometimes my learner require that human experience also? Taranam, if you give me half a minute, I remember that famous story.
Sure, sir.
I remember that famous story where a auctioneer was auctioning a guitar. The guitar was covered with dust. It looked old and unworkable, and he put it up for sale, and nobody was willing to buy it. A person there cleaned the guitar and then tuned the guitar and then played some very, very, very magical notes on that guitar. Wonderful to hear. And then the auctioneer put it up for sale. And it was bought for a huge amount. A boy who was watching this asked his father, "Dad, the guitar was the same. Why did it not sell earlier? Why did it sell later?" And the father told the boy, "Child, you have just seen the impact of the You have seen the impact of the touch of the master's hand."
जी
Do you need a better example to prove how learners sometimes require human interface?
हाँ मैं एक मीटिंग में हूँ I'll call you back.
I totally agree with your points, sir. In fact, that's a very, very, very valid point you have been putting across.
A machine can solve your problem, but even as a human, for certain things, you require that human touch. When I feel emotionally low, maybe a machine can keep me occupied for a few minutes, but I require that conversation with another human being to be able to relate and to be able to get myself feel better. So Taranam, learner comfort, learning comfort. Learning comfort also I think is important. If everything could be done by artificial intelligence, we could close down our higher education institutions and just put machines everywhere where students can learn. Higher education learning is about that social connect. And without that social connect, if I look at my 4 or 5 decades of teaching and learning, some of my most valuable life experiences have come in dialogues with others. Machines have taught me a lot, but humans have taught me much more. And it is that combination of learning which has allowed me to have that wide experience.
Perfectly fine, sir. In fact, your views are very, very pertinent to this topic, and I believe Dr. Bhakar has to leave for another meeting. So that brings us to the end of this panel discussion. And I would thank all the panelists for giving us the time for this panel discussion. I would ask my backend team to give the certificates, the token of gratitude certificates to all our speakers. We can start with Dr. S.S. Bhakar's certificate so that he's supposed to leave, so we can give that certificate to him. Thank you so much, Dr. S.S. Bhakar, Vice Chancellor, ITM University, Gwalior, Madhya Pradesh. It was very, very wonderful of you to join us today. Thank you so much for your presence and thank you so much for your words, sir. We can also have a certificate for now for Dr. Sandeep Shastri, VC Jagran Lake City University, Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. Dr. Shastri, it's always a pleasure to listen to you, sir. In fact, you are one of the panelists who actually brought the pros and the cons of AI in front of us, because we've always heard people talking good things and the pros about AI and technology, but I think honestly you've been very, very strongly promoting the balance of how technology should be used. Thank you so much, sir, for your presence.
Thank you
And
for
can I have
having
a certificate? Yeah. Can I have a certificate also for Professor G.P.S. Verma, Vice Chancellor, KL University, Deemed to University, Vadeswaram, Andhra Pradesh? Thank you so much, sir, for being a part of this discussion. I understand all of our panelists were really, really busy, but they spared some time for this discussion. And it was wonderful listening to all your words. It's a very, very pertinent topic which you all participated in. Thank you so much. Have a great day, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.